Good morning, Creative Applique fans. How are you today? I hope you are all doing well. Today, I wanted to talk about Raggy designs. Now, what is a Raggy design? Some designers called it Shabby, some designers call it Frayed, running stitch, bean stitch. There's many different names that are used for these type of designs, but they're all pretty much the same thing. You've seen them. They're very popular with the teenagers and the college-age kids, and it's very simple to do. Now, I know this may not be your favorite type of design because it doesn't look very polished, it doesn't look very neat, but this is something that's very popular with the young kids, and I guarantee you there's going to come a time when a customer is going to ask you for a Frayed design, or your granddaughter is going to ask you for a Shabby design, or your niece is going to ask you, and you're going to say, I am so glad I watched Creative Applique's video on how to do this because I know exactly how to do it, and it's super easy, simple, and fast. So you can see with this, now I didn't make this, but these are the popular designs, and you can see there's multiple layers of fabric being used in this design. Now, there are several different types of fabric you can use. One is called Osnaburg, okay? And that frays really, really well. And that's spelled Osnaburg, and you can get that at any fabric store. The other type of fabric that's very popular and simple to use as well is flannel, okay? And that frays very well, easy. And this is just your basic flannel that you find at your regular fabric store. So, one of the things that you want to make sure when you're using your decorative fabric is you do not use any heat and bond light on the back of it. When we've talked about using heat and bond light on the back of an applique fabric, you do not want to use that when you're doing a Raggy or Frayed or Shabby or bean stitch design, because it's going to prevent it from fraying. It's going to prevent the design from giving you that frayed edge that you want to use for this design. So that's the first thing, okay? So the second thing is you're going to want to use several layers. Now on this one I just used my decorative fabric with my Osnaburg, but you can use multiple layers of fabric. That helps give you a better Shabby or Frayed design as well. So let's get started showing you how to do this really quickly and easily, okay? So we have our fabric here that we sewed a simple triple stitch or a bean stitch on, and now we're going to cut it. So there are several ways to do this. If you don't want a large frayed edge and you just like the bean stitch, then you can cut it as close to the stitching as you wish. The other, if you want to have the frayed or the Raggy edge, you can leave anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch, depending on how much fray you want. So I'm going to cut this one for you to show you how we do it, and I hope you can see my hands around the video camera. So you just have to gauge it on cutting it. All right. So if you're going to do a design like this that uses the running stitch or the bean stitch, and you're going to do it really close to the stitching without any fraying, then you can use heat and bond light. But if you're going to do a Frayed design, a Raggy design, no heat and bond light, okay? All right, there. So we got all the excess cut off. Now, I know it's not even, but we're going to just keep going. So now, cut in every 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, okay? Cut in without cutting the stitching, okay? And this way it's not going to give you the long pieces of frayed strings hanging off that you feel like you just have to go and cut them every time you see them. All right, now here's the trick, here's the tool. this. This is a grout brush. It is a brush that you use to clean your tile in your bathroom between where the tiles are joined together, the stuff that holds the tiles on the wall. This has very stiff bristles and they're plastic. Now I like the plastic bristles. There's some grout brushes that are metal. I do not like those because it tends to pull and shred the actual fabric itself. This plastic pulls at the actual threads and it pulls them apart. So now watch this. Watch how fast this goes. I used to use my nail to pull it apart, and that works somewhat. I've also used, the edge of scissors, and that works somewhat. But watch this. Boom! Less than a minute. Now you got to get all that mess off there. I understand that, but anyway, that was very fast. And you've got that wonderful frayed, raggy edge. And it took me less than a minute to do that. So are you confident you can do this? I'm confident you can do it. Get yourself a grout brush. They're less than $5. I wanted to show you what I did with our new floss stitch monogram, natural circle monogram. This is done in two different colors. Do you love that? Look at that. I used 3 layers of the Osnaburg here and the 1 layer of the decorative stitch. I did not even sew a circle around that. I took the fabric, I pinned it down onto the shirt, I sewed the letters, trimmed out the circle, cut in around 1/4 inch every perpendicular into the circle, and then frayed it. What do you think? Do you love it? It's for my daughter. I have to make myself one. Anyway, I hope that information helped. Get yourself a grout brush and you will have the confidence and the ability to make raggy designs very fast. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Make it a creative day. Until next time.
If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to my channel. To be notified when I upload future videos, please hit the bell so you can be notified. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest as Creative Appliques. And of course, you can find all of our designs on our website, www.creativeappliques.com. Thanks for joining me today, and make your life creative.